What I wanted to just talk about a little bit today comes from my background as a mobile product person specifically, where it was really important to me to be able to mimic real life conditions that people on their phones would be experiencing when trying to use our app. So I learned about a tool at the time called a network link conditioner, and it's something that allows you to slow down your network artificially to mimic some real world conditions. In the intervening years, it has been built into Chrome as a feature of Google Chrome, which is extremely useful and interesting. What you learn is actually really interesting because while that things slow down the page or things slow down your mobile app, whether it's ad calls or analytics calls or things like that, what it helps you do is really estimate the impact of a new feature. So hopefully you'll be able to see my cursor and the menu that I'm opening. But if you go in Chrome in the top right, there's the three dots menu. There's an option to select more tools, and then you go down and load your developer tools. Is this showing up as well on the live stream?
Yeah. Can you show it one more time so people can really get where it is?
Yeah. So
Yes.
up here in the top right of the
Yeah.
screen, if you look at my little avatar on Chrome, you have the three
Yeah.
dots menu. And
Yeah.
then if you scroll a little bit down, you see this option for more tools. And
Yeah.
then in the more tools menu at the bottom, you have something called developer tools.
Yeah.
So when you load developer tools, it brings you this a very technical panel of different elements, different things happening on your page. Most people, or a lot of people, are familiar with this button right here that I'm hovering over that allows you to change the view between a desktop and a mobile device. So that is something pretty common. But what I wanted to talk about today was this network option here. So that's the tool that they have built in. So if you see this network tab in the console, you'll then see a drop-down menu here that says not throttling, no throttling right now. But you can see the different presets for network speeds that you could test on. So you can mimic in what Google Chrome does, it'll just literally slow down your network artificially so you can see how your page would load in a different context. So
How would you explain throttling, by the way?
the word itself suggests squeezing something.
Okay. Yeah.
Um, and so the idea is you take your network that has this amount of bandwidth and you just throttle it, you squeeze it so that you're only getting. So, for example, if I switch to the mobile view and we're on the network tab, and I'm just going to reload the page here, and there is no throttling. This is the normal speed of my current internet connection,
Yeah.
and you see the components are loading. And down here, there's a timer, right? Finish 9.14 seconds. So you can then change it to a fast 3G connection and refresh the page. And then you see how your mobile website will perform for someone with a fast 3G connection. Still got to load the same components, and it's still, loading the same scripts. And you can see this one, 10.88 seconds. So not too much slower, but it gets interesting when you hit slow 3G and again, refresh your page. And you can already see there's quite a bit more lag. It is having to reload some components. And you can see on the right, all of these things that usually happen in the blink of an eye when you're on a super fast Wi-Fi connection. You can imagine for people who are in more rural areas outside of the city, or maybe just people on old devices that aren't able to handle higher network speeds, you want to see their experience. So it looks like now, yeah, we are at around 29 seconds. And it's important to think about the end user's experience, and it's hard to do that artificially. When I worked at Newsday, I remember I used to go to our print shop. We had the print shop on the same campus where the offices were, and they had terrible reception there. So sometimes when we were building that app, I would have to walk down to the press room, put on a hard hat and goggles, and just try to load our app and see what happens when there's a slow connection. What you learn is actually really interesting because while that things slow down the page or things slow down your mobile app, whether it's ad calls or analytics calls or things like that, what it helps you do is really estimate the impact of a new feature. So what you can do is if you have a beta version of your site, let's say we are planning to put some new functionality on our homepage, we would have that set up in a beta environment, and I would be able to load the beta page in my browser, check it on a slower connection, and see if we have improved performance or not improved performance. And this is a topic that's really important to us right now, where we want to make sure page speed and our pages are loading quickly. And the one thing that we're all very well aware of is that if it takes too long to load a page, it doesn't matter how great the experience is that you built, because a lot of people just don't have patience for it. So it's just a really good way to check your work, make sure you're doing well on performance, and make sure you're being empathetic to users who are not in major cities with great Wi-Fi connections or the fastest telephones.
So thank you for sharing this tool with us. And then if you do have the Chrome browser already installed, you don't have to install anything else. You can just find the feature and go there.